Hello YouTube fans, here again. And I had a good night last night, went out, had a double of bass, and we watched a music concert. So it was a good night. And the funny thing is, I sooner talk about that than the thing I'm going to talk about now. That's Dracula's Pacific Rites, which I like to call Dracula's The Pacific Rim Job. I'll say it again, Dracula The Pacific Rim Job. And the reason why I call it that, this film has to be the most tasteless film going. Very big word for me that, but seriously, it's the most tasteless film going. And the reason why I say that is because it doesn't know whether it's a Dracula film, doesn't know whether it's a devil worshipping film, doesn't even know whether it's a thinking bikers film. And then there's one point where it feels like I'm watching a fucking spy film on an episode of The X-Files, all rolled into one. All rolled into one. And there's a bit of me that wonders whether this was going to be a Dracula film. There is, because there's bits in it where it really does not know what the fuck it wants to be. That decided, oh, we've been Christopher Lee in, called him Dracula, got it a fucking day, and make it the next Dracula film. And it feels like it. It really does feel like it. So it starts off, you got Sagos going across the street, it's old typical of London, a bit like they did in the 72 one. And the music is just this fucking blaring as the fucking Dracula 72 A Dick. It really is. It goes dead fucking thematic with saddles. I'm assuming it's supposed to be Dracula and vampires. It just looks fucking laughable. Then it gets to Peter Trussen. Remember the cop that was in 72? I do give it its due. Do give him a lot more to do. And you do get Tiranda Lumblis in it. Tiranda Lumblis herself. And you could think that Tiranda Lovely would be in a fucking Dracula film. Anyway, she is. And somehow she's playing Peter Trussen's granddaughter. So the actress, basically, Tiranda Lumblis. And these cops are bringing him in, investigating a guy who's supposed to be like a spy. He's been beaten up, tortured and kidnapped. And he gets out of Dodge, but he dies on the way, and he's telling them a story of what's going on. What's going on is you've got these devil worshippers, and they sacrifice this chick. Oh, I sacrifice a woman. And there's a funny bit where they're going to sacrifice a chicken. Speaking of chicks, they sacrifice a chicken, right? Making this up. I'm just saying, no cruelty to animals. It's not a cannibal or a tortoise or fucking Dracula. But it's all laughable. The chicken's head's doing this every 2 minutes. You're thinking, what the fuck? Every 2 minutes. I'm mostly looking at the fucking chicken. They do. It's like pretty to look at. They sacrifice her. She comes back to life. I'm assuming she's a vampire. But this is the only thing that pisses me off. Unlike all the other Dracula films where he gets resurrected, except for Horrors of Dracula, that's the first time he made his appearance. But every Dracula film, whether it be Prince of Darkness, whether it be Dracula Risen from the Grave, whether it be Taste the fucking blood of Dracula's ass, whether it be whatever, right? You can always guarantee he comes back or he gets resurrected. In this, doesn't explain how he comes back. That's why it feels to me that they just stuffed him in it at 1 minute just to liven the fucking film up. So, to bring Peter Trussen in, his final scene, because, he's a bit like fucking one of them investigates weird things. And on the way, he's got this other dude, like pretty to look at. So he gets adopted by some bikers. This way it becomes a fucking bikers film here. You've got a Chinese dude in it, so I'm thinking it's going to be a martial art film now. And that's when Christopher Lee comes into it, bites her on the neck, and turns into a fucking vampire. And I'm thinking, wow. So they bring Christopher Lee in it again. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Christopher Lee. I always say I like Christopher Lee. But in this film, it's like, I felt it would have been better. And it would have been Peter Trussen dealing with Satanists, devil worshippers, whatever, and having Miss Van Helsing helping the bobbies out. I thought that would have been a better film. But because the film, they felt it wasn't going to be so successful, so I said, fuck it, we've been Christopher Lee in and got it a fucking day. And that's what it feels like. It feels like that. And I do know the film had a lot of different titles. One being Dracula's Brides, not the Brides of Dracula, that's a better film. Dracula's Brides, Dracula the Revenge, Dracula Returns. Had all these different titles, and then eventually they just got it Dracula Risen from the Grave. No, they got it Dracula's The Pacific Rites. Dracula Pacific Dracula Missing from the Day was a better fucking film, believe me. Then I got it Dracula the Pacific Rites, which I got the Pacific Rim Job. Because it's a rim job. I can watch it as a time waster, and I don't badmouth it as most people have done. I don't think it's... When I first saw this, I thought, oh, here we go. Because I've heard so many rumours it's the most worstest, it's the most shittiest. But again, like the 72 one, Dracula the 72 AD, I cannot offend it. I cannot. Because there's a bit in it, right, where Peter Tussin comes in, right? And Dracula's pretending to be somebody else. He's got on this fucking Chinese voice. I'm thinking, come on, Christopher Lee, you're not fucking Kung Fu, like when you did your films, Kung Fu. But he's put on a Chinese voice. It's all dark, and Peter Tussin expects, well, fucking Van Helsing expects he's a fucking vampire. So he puts a cross behind some book. And everything a beard. Dracula trusts it, it burns his fucking hand, and he says, "You're Dracula!" Really overacting, which is the same for Peter Tussin. He's a good actor, but in this, he really overacts that scene. And that's something else. Christopher Lee, this has to be the worst lines. Even though they're different, the most lines in this, these lines are worse than when he did 72. Because 72 he overacted. "I'll get my revenge." In this, he overacts even more, which is a damn shame, because to me, Christopher Lee is a good actor. He is a good actor. So they've got Van Helsing as a prisoner. They kill one of the bobbies, not our main bobby, and they adopt Duranda Lumdis as well, right? And what it is, he's got this fucking thing that it's going to set off, and it's going to, give everybody a virus. I'm not about the one we're having at the moment. One dies following a stopper. "I've done this for you and I've done that." And Dracula gets pissed. He uses his powers, I'm assuming. Doesn't explain how. He breaks it with a task. He does a horrible thing to him. He dies a horrible death. The building goes on fire. Dracula and the Andalumbri's get out, and the Bobby gets out, and Peter Tussin gets out. This is the stupidest death out of all the stupidest, because what happens is Dracula's trying to get Van Helsing, right? Trying to get him. And he's going through phone buses. You can see the fucking phone buses in front of you. And I'm thinking he's fucking Dracula blind. So he's going through phone buses, getting cut to shit because he's fucking stupid at this point. So it definitely makes Dracula look a dum-dum. Van Helsing gets a piece of wood, don't forget, stake in the heart. Whams a stake in his heart. He falls on the floor, looks like he's having an epileptic fit, and fucking dies. And you see that ring that they always use in every Dracula film. Van Helsing picks it up, and I swear the music. Remember the ads that used to come out called "All because a woman loves to have this tea." Remember the ads? It used to be like a Bond film, and some stuntman or some pretty boy used to do his own stunts, and you used to have "All because a woman loves milk tea." I swear the music sounds like that. It fucking sounds like that, and I'm expecting to hear "All because a woman loves milk tea." That's what you think it looks like. You can definitely see at this point where this was the last one of Christopher Lee's. You can definitely see it. I would not be surprised if they offered him another role in 74, because this film came out in 1973. I would not be surprised if they offered him another role to play Dracula, and he thought, fuck it, I'm getting out of this. So they did offer him to do a Bond film, that being The Man with the Golden Gun, which is a better film. And Christopher Lee went for that, went for other films, and said bye-bye to Hammer House. I would not be surprised, because it's not a good film. It's not a good film. Points, I'll give it 1. That's being generous. I'll give it 2, because it's a little bit average. But I can definitely see why people don't think it was the best, and it wasn't. For Christopher Lee's last outing as Dracula, I would say it's disappointing. It's disappointing. Because it doesn't know it's a biker's film, doesn't know whether it's a fucking spy film. There's bits in it where it feels like what's in the fucking X-Files before it ever come out, like the London version of it. Don't know what the fuck it wants to be. It's just, I mean, it's in the modern times, and it's like, it just felt like they just stuffed Christopher Lee in and called it Dracula because they felt the film wasn't going to be that fucking successful. That's what it feels like to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it was. I mean, Peter Tussin, he's doing the best he can do, but some of the lines to do him, he's overacting. But he's not the problem. The lines to Christopher Lee, he's overacting. And it's damn shame, because he's talking two damn good actors who have worked together in loads of films, and they're over fucking acting. Gets to the point where it's even overacting for Shakespeare. But I can watch it as a time waster. So again, 2-star rating. I can't offend it. It's not a good film, but at the same time, it's not as bad as what people made it out to be. That's how I see it. I can watch it at a time waster, but if people want to insult it, you can. Until then, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you soon.